children.
We're live. Should I get it out of the way and just say like the N-word on stream?
Yes, absolutely not.
Narcissist. Neggers. Neptune.
Oh my gosh.
Neptune.
Let's not flirt with disaster this close, son. What's going on, guys?
I mean, like, I figure you can't get canceled if, like, you get all that shit out of the way first, you know? That's just kind of how it goes.
We discussed...
Those are the rules, right?
We discussed the ground rules and we moved it with the line. Okay. Good start, everyone. Anyway, I'm Malstrum. I am joined here with the other parts of the team at D&D Bags, being...
Hello!
The guy right there. JerBear and below me, right here, who's too much of a coward to show his face, Lunakage.
I've said some things. If people know what I look like,
oh no,
they'll know who to call to get me fired. That's all I'm saying. You know, I don't want to do that. Flirting with disaster is all I've done.
Everyone.
But anyway,
welcome here at Dungeons and Bags, regardless of how much you flirt with disaster.
But yeah, I'm new here. I play primarily fighting games because I used to be somebody, kind of.
And now you're on this podcast, so you're nobody.
Oh
yeah.
I'm glad to see that you guys value my hard work here at
now you just
producing this content.
To know.
You know, that makes me feel good as the lead producer here at Dungeons & Dragons.
That's what we do, buddy.
Thanks, guys. So we actually got a lot of stuff to cover about, and what you're going to see here pretty shortly, we absolutely have nothing really in common as far as taste-wise. It's actually pretty stunning. As we said before...
Hey, you know, strange bedfellows and all that.
Yeah, exactly. I am your stereotypical nerd here. I do enjoy consuming my fair amount of Western media culture, whereas you can see Lunakage giving the extreme levels of weeb in their handle.
Extreme.
As a...
I wouldn't call it extreme. I've met extreme in my...
I'll be fair, it's pretty vanilla.
I'm a vanilla weeb. I've met plenty of extremes, and they're so extreme that it almost, like, they're the reason why I hide my power level usually in day-to-day life. Traveling around to tournaments and shit, you kind of learn not everybody should be your friend.
I mean, that's a lesson learned in life. I'm glad you learned it not the hard way. But as I said, I ingest kind of more like Marvel, DC, comic books. Definitely a lot of movies and stuff that these guys don't watch. Jeremy, I'll let him explain his particular interests.
I like musicals.
He does like
musicals. I like musicals. I like JRPGs. I like slice of life. God, you know, I like regular. I watch a lot of anime. I read a lot of manga. I like fantasy and sci-fi books.
What was that musical you were going to go see before all this happened?
I wanted to see Hamilton before.
Was it Hamilton?
I think it was Hamilton.
So
I thought it was
you're a fan of musicals, right?
I'm a fan of the opera. I remember that came up once.
Oh, we do. I mean, yeah, that's always been playing.
Yeah. Jeremy, have you heard of, and do you know the story behind Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark?
I have not heard of the musical.
No? Oh, God. It is a musical. I guess it was scored by Bono.
Bono? Oh, no.
Really?
That's right up his alley.
It's fucking, like, I heard that it was nothing but a fucking train wreck, like, the entire time it was running. It might be something you might want to look into.
Turn Off the Dark. Put it on my list right now.
That sounds like something he'd totally be down to watch. Only way that could absolutely be any better if Danny Elfman was...
Oh, I think it was the Beetlejuice one, because they just released a Beetlejuice musical, and then Corona happened.
Yeah, I think it might have been. So we discussed possibly doing something like that.
Got to be careful because saying Corona on stream, as far as the YouTube algorithm is concerned, is about as dangerous as saying the N-word on stream.
Oh, then say it again. We're just gonna is the coof or the Z the I don't even know if that's safe. We'll just call it the coof.
The coof.
That's what he calls it.
Coof.
Yeah. We'll just call it the coof. And
Coof.
So yeah,
it's going to make it really hard for people who like the beer going forward. You know,
it is. Not sponsored by the disease or the beer.
Yeah. Well, now that spring's coming up, or we're going to be in for the Corona with lime season.
Ooh, disease. There we go.
Yeah, I can't wait to not have to wear the fucking mask and not have to see people wear fucking masks.
Well, we all know that is just...
That's life now.
It's just a pipe dream. This is the new normal. That's why...
The new normal.
We're properly socially distanced, we can show our bright, smiling faces.
I haven't left the house all week. Today was the first day.
Yeah. Well,
I leave the house every day for work.
I get to work at my computer right there.
It's like people I've known for 3 months now. I've seen their face for like the first time. Like, it's so fucking weird. I'm like, oh shit, she's actually not that attractive. Like it's weird. It's weird how much like the mouth, hides. It's like, oh man, she's got a good eyes, good everything else. Then she takes off her mask and she looks like
a shark.
Molina from Mortal Kombat.
Right. It did work for Mortal Kombat because, that series, they can't fucking model women to save their goddamn lives. Like, not only do their bodies look plastic, but their faces look like, they've been stomped by a boot. Which, to be fair, they have. Yeah. Practicing that realism, I guess.
What are you guys drinking?
Tea.
Rum and Coke.
Ginger ale.
Rum and Coke.
Arizona green tea with ginseng and honey.
I've been recovering from a bad
Hangover?
spot of no. I've had sinuses because 'tis the season and all that. This ginger ale has kind of helped me with my throat a little bit. It was swollen to a point where I had to talk.
I haven't had ginger ale in a long time. I remember, growing up in the Midwest, good old Michigan, fucking, you used to drink ginger ale when you were sick.
Yeah, it's Verner's.
Yeah, like, shit's amazing.
Dry Canada. Okay, that's where my brain.
Canada Dry, yeah, Canada Dry.
Yeah.
What was a Verner's household?
I said that like it was in Spanish, but in English.
By the way, like that's such a weird thing to name a drink. You normally wouldn't want to have the word dry in the name of a drink. It doesn't make much sense. Not a good marketing strategy, I think.
Well, if it's alcohol, there's like how they describe gin and stuff,
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not an alcohol guy.
I'm not anymore. I kind of feel old now.
Yeah, I remember you and PJ used to drink yourselves silly in the middle of practice.
Oh yes, good times, good times.
And then you drive me home. It's like, oh, good.
I was never drunk.
No, but you were never not drinking.
Yeah.
Listen, when you got 2 kids, man.
Yeah.
He didn't have kids at the time.
When you're married without any kids.
Yeah, you could totally drink when you're married, no kids.
I don't drink anymore that much.
That's crazy. It's crazy to think about. How long have we known each other now?
Oh, I don't know, about I came like 5 years.
Jesus Christ. 5 years is a long time. Like when you think
16.
Yeah, but like for a friendship that started as adults, Although I guess that makes more sense because
I have some adult friendships that still last.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, outside of you guys, really, and a couple of.
I know. I met Ian when I believe we were 17 because his birthday's a month after mine. So it was either 17 or as soon as we turned 18 because like he was trying out for the role of drummer in our band at the time.
Yeah.
And showing up in a orange ass Focus is quite a way to make a first impression.
Yeah, well, you know, bold.
Yeah.
Bold flavored.
But yeah, I mean, keeping in touch is a hard thing to do, especially as an adult, especially when you have kids, jobs, and stuff.
A wife.
Well, I mean, like that's why I'm always like super impressed with Rob and shit because like he still finds a way to make time for band practice.
I do band
and then
practice.
with all
I produce this show.
Yeah, with all of that on his plate, like he
fair,
decided to make the show, and I was like, "What the fuck?" To be
fair, he has 3 days off a week.
I still work 12 hours. I still work almost 12 hours a day when I do work, though. So it's still like 4 hours a week. And
I mean,
I work hard too.
And
he still has 2 kids and a wife, and then he's got
Shay and Isaac now too. On my day
Yeah.
So.
I mean, take him down to the river.
I don't think I've ever been to Rob's house and have not seen Shay and Isaac.
Oh, well.
Like, I'm pretty sure when I first saw Shay, she was like at my waist. Now she's fucking like tall as fuck. I'm like, what is that? Why am I seeing kids that I have no like relation to grow up before my eyes? It's
like,
fucked up.
My son's birthday, and you're like, you have a daughter? I'm like, yeah, she's been here for a little bit now.
That wasn't me that said that. I think it was who was it that said that?
I think it was Brandon.
I don't know, because I mean, I knew you had a daughter. I see you every weekend.
Yeah, but yeah. Well, she's kind of new. She's 8 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it gets difficult to say such like that. But you know, like I said, I'm basically into nerd stuff and music. As I said, me and Lunakage are in a band together. It's still currently doing. We're actually supposed to tomorrow drop a new lyric video from an album that we're gonna have fully released by the end of the year this year.
What's its name?
Yeah.
Horizon of Nothing.
Right,
no, the album is called Horizon of Nothing. The song we're releasing tomorrow is called The Optimist.
Mm-hmm.
Optimus Prime.
And I've been listening to it basically nonstop for the last 2 days.
It's pretty good.
On the way to and from work.
Yep, shameless plug. If you guys are interested in that, you should definitely check us out over on Facebook. I will post a link.
What genre are you guys in?
We're definitely a like a moderate form of metal.
I'd say like if you're thinking like new metal, not kind of that genre for sure.
We kind of flirt with like a bunch of different genres of metal.
Fair enough.
Like, because we got stuff that kind of is reminiscent of power metal. We got stuff that is definitely new metal inspired, because that's my main inspiration. We have
some punk inspired
I don't.
stuff.
Yeah. Punk stuff, fucking more alternative metal style stuff. Like I think The Optimist is a good example of like an alternative metal song.
Yeah, I mean it's weird. I think it takes different directions in like 3 sections. If you break it up into 3 different sections, you can kind of get like 3 different kind of 3 different genres out of it. But it's
yeah.
I was listening to it. It's a good listen for sure. Unobjectively, because as Lunakage would tell you, nobody is a worse critic of me than myself.
Yeah. I mean, I'm the same way too. Like, not even when I write riffs and stuff, and I like the riff, I could love the riff. I'm like, oh man, I'm super proud of this riff. But when I listen to it, I'm like, it still doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't remind me of the kind of stuff I'd hear from like my heroes or even just bands that I like. But then you put those same riffs and you finally mix and master them and put the studio magic on them, and I'm like, oh man, okay, I'm kind of hearing it now,
And the reason,
like,
given the atmosphere of like YouTube and Twitch and all these other social media stuff now, and how fair use isn't a thing anymore, that's a lot of the music that I use for editing and videos and stuff is actually clips from our band and music that we've actually written too, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Good.
So you've already heard me playing guitar if you've seen any of the videos on this channel so far.
Any of the DNDB news, the intros and outro clips are Lunakage playing guitar. That's 100% correct.
Yeah. It's actually was one of my goals in life was to have my own composition to be used for like a YouTube intro. Because because I had never had any kind of recording quality good enough to that kind of standard, and now it's like I feel like I'm there.
I like using
with with our setup that we have.
Like right now, predominantly, I pull stuff from. It looks like the Raven and the Trigger. I've pulled stuff from that and used it. But I want us to actually maybe write or compose something specifically for this. I think that'd be kind of cool too.
Yeah, I mean, I got a shit ton of noodly doos that like haven't made it into a song composition yet.
But after that giant segue, I would say this is loosely put together. We just wanted to get something out there with all the everybody that's going to be sharing content on the channel, just so we can all put our faces together and see how we're related in a certain way. That's basically what this whole stream is about today. And we are going to get to and actually talk to some guided discussions. However, just get through what we were, basically discussing. I let you know a little bit what my interests are. JerBear has interests more in the field of slice of life anime and musicals. As Lunakage mentioned, music and fighting games are kind of
yep, Japanese stuff like anime, Japanese video games. Like I like a few Western ones too, but not a lot. I like the Japanese influence, the method of storytelling that Japan does, and there's just so many more titties, and it's great. Just unashamed amounts of titties.
Unashamed. Dare I say, a offensively large amount.
That's another one of my interests. Offending people is an interest of mine too.
And the one that's probably going to get us in trouble eventually. Cheers.
Maybe we'll see. Rob is definitely on the more offensive side of the spectrum than I am.
I'm better at hiding.
I get. Yeah, I mean, I'm just a fan of getting reactions out of people, and I've cultivated this this ability of mine to a fine point.
But, so like I said, I did pull a couple things together for you guys, for us to discuss. But I know starting off, you guys, I kind of went through it briefly. Was there, what do you guys think about Star Wars? I know a lot of you guys probably don't have big opinions about it outside of the other movie I seen once.
I mean, Star Wars is one of those things that they should have just left alone at the first 3 movies.
Leave the memories alone.
Maybe.
I tried really hard as a kid to get into it, but it really never stuck with me. Like I've never my preferred sci-fi is not like space age futuristic or like medieval settings. You know, I've never really been into those things. That's why even though they're a Japanese RPG, I've never really been able to get into the Star Ocean series.
And that's one I actually liked too.
Yeah, and I mean it's a good series. Like the ones that I've played, I enjoyed, but it's not anything I ever get excited for. It's nothing that I'm like, oh, I need to, buy this old game. And I'd completely forgotten about it when I was making my list of games that I need to buy just to have. Like, oh yeah, maybe I should, especially on my big ass list of PS1 games that I need to buy. But yeah, like it's just never been my favorite setting.
Okay, so as you guys know, I have a much more hard stance on Star Wars than you guys. And welcome to the first transition. So, it looks like Kathleen Kennedy, I remember, well, we literally just talked about it. JerBear was talking about how they should have left the 3 movies alone. I know in that you're kind of including the prequel trilogy too, right?
Yeah, those. I mean, there was high points, but not enough.
Oh no! But think about it for a minute. You wouldn't have the Darth Vader no, or the Ewan McGregor. Oh, hello there. Just the memeable moments from the prequel trilogy is worth it alone, in my opinion.
Fair enough.
But I can't find one redeeming quality of the sequel trilogy. Not one. And the one person behind it all, meaning the sequel trilogy, Kathleen Kennedy, her contract is actually up in 6 months. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they were bringing her back.
You thought they were bringing her back?
Weren't they extending her contract, or is it up?
It's up. They're talking. There's been rumors that her contract is going to be extended, and Bob Chapek, the executive CEO over at Disney, was talking with some stockholders and stuff, and I guess he said something to the effect that they hope that she's fantastic, does a fantastic job, and has hope that she stays around for years to come. But some people, I was reading a little bit more into it, and from other sources on YouTube and whatnot, they said that it could just be smokescreen because there's been no official statement released saying that her contract's being extended.
I don't know, man. Like I've always been. I like Star Wars. I have a lightsaber. I prefer Lord of the Rings, but I mean, I watched the first Skywalker movies or whatever. Leia, Rey, whatever her name is.
Rey.
They were trash.
Leia's from the original trilogies, yeah.
They were trash.
They were. Unfortunately, Rey was completely unlikable. She was just a Mary Sue character, but we won't get all into that because that's just something that's been rehashed, and you can see that opinion elsewhere online for sure.
The whole thing, like with Finn too, like they set him up to have this whole like redeeming ex-stormtrooper arc, and then they went nowhere with it.
Yeah, I thought that was probably the most interesting concept to come out of the sequel trilogy, and if they would have put like Finn in the starring role, maybe, and kind of showed that dynamic of maybe a ex-stormtrooper becoming a Jedi, I thought that could be something really interesting to watch, and they just did nothing with it. Kylo Ren was just awful as a protagonist.
Big whiny baby.
Antagonist, sorry.
Like he went from like hating everyone, and then I know in like the third movie, he like falls in love with her or some shit, and they're like force paired or whatever fucking bullshit they pulled in that movie.
They like kiss, and then he like immediately ejects himself off the ledge and kills himself. And
then he becomes a force ghost and lives in her heart.
No, he gives his life to save her. Like if that was the thing, why didn't Anakin in the original trilogy do that to save Padme? It seems like something he would have done.
Right.
If that was something that Jedi could do.
They just keep making up the fucking powers.
Yeah, it seems like you might be right.
Because I know in the comics, Kylo Ben Solo becomes one with the Force for a minute.
Yeah.
So they just fucking make that shit up as they go along.
That's fair enough, and that's just the first go around in the sequel trilogy. We don't want to talk about the Rian Johnson mess that happened afterwards with the Luke Skywalker dying from using the Force and drinking a green alien milk.
He got Thanos snapped. He fucking just disappeared.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Let me just say that I've seen that scene. One of the few things that I've seen. And Japanese titties versus American titties is basically where this goes for me. It's like, whereas Japan is like, yeah, let's show some, hot Asian titties. American media is like, oh yeah,
I'm glad Mark Hamill
check out this fucking alien monster.
You heard it here, guys. You heard it here first. Alien monster.
Hot takes, alien monster, Asian titties.
Welcome to our TED Talk. Alien titties.
Like, why do I have to see that? Like, we've come so far in the wrong direction from the days of, like, Total Recall alien titties.
I think it was supposed to be like some bipedal cow creature, but yeah, that's our takeaway. We'll go with that.
Yeah, so Star Wars is trash.
Titties.
There goes our audio.
I don't know, man. It's hard to count Star Wars down and out for me. Only because
The Mandalorian's good.
Mandalorian is fantastic, and it's because of Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, and they're doing a great job.
And
however,
Obi-Wan's gonna be good.
Obi-Wan may be good. We'll see. I'm not sure who's behind it. I haven't read to see who's actually behind that project yet. But Kathleen Kennedy is reportedly behind the firing of Gina Carano, which actually put the production of The Mandalorian behind schedule and ruffled some feathers over there with Jon Favreau in particular.
Well, I know she said she wasn't going to come back. Gina.
Yeah, she probably isn't going to come back because apparently she was treated pretty horribly there. And there's been a scheduled interviews for that, and she actually went over to the Daily Wire and is now making content over at the Daily Wire with Ben Shapiro and company over there.
God, fucking Ben Shapiro.
I like.
Get me started.
They're just saying she's making a movie, but they don't even say what the movie is or what it's about. That's like, I'm all about Gina Carano, having a career and a future in acting, but what movie? Like, you can't just say she's in a movie and then expect everybody to be hyped for it. Like, what movie?
That was like when what's her name? The woman from King of Queens.
Yeah.
That's when she left Scientology and made her whole tell-all movie.
Yeah, well,
that's what it feels like. Except
I don't even remember that. And I feel like I was following the Scientology thing for a minute.
Yeah, that actually happened. It wasn't
way back in the far-off year of 2007.
It was like the early 2000s.
Was it early 2000s? Because I remember watching it. It wasn't that long ago.
Look it up.
Well, I know Scientology was a big, talking point in the mid-2000s. I think it kind of lost steam in the early 2010s.
So she was in Scientology from the age of 9. In 2013, she left.
So which? Because you said the girl from the King of Queens. Which one?
Liam, the wife.
The wife, yeah.
The wife.
Yeah, Remley? I don't fucking know.
Raimi, I think her name is.
Yeah, whatever. Fucking.
She was cute.
Yeah.
Oh.
She was a Scientologist.
She was a Scientologist.
I mean, the dumb ones are the ones that fall for me. So.
I mean, to be fair, she was in it when she was 9, so it was her more of her parents.
Yeah, she was raised.
She was raised dumb. That's even better.
Well,
can't really fault her.
I mean, it worked to her advantage because of the whole nepotism behind, that they infect.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so it works out for some people. There's a reason people still adhere to it, but I think this is the understatement of the decade. The Last Jedi or The Rise of Skywalker. It may be Star Wars, The Last Jedi or The Rise of Star Wars, but the last Star Wars trilogy wasn't perfect. Like, there has not been a more understated comment.
I mean,
it's like, yes, hell is hot, but water is wet, but
yeah.
It's just so frustrating. Here's what we were talking about before. Disney's CEO Bob Chapek has been asked directly if there's any chance she could be fired, and it says that it wouldn't be happening anytime soon. But the thing, what I've been hearing online from other sources and stuff, they're saying that was kind of like at a press conference or like a shareholders meeting. He didn't want to say anything to kind of rock the boat or say anything that would directly affect stocks in Disney. That kind of makes sense to me, especially when you combine that with there's been no official release of any statement saying that her contract's being renewed. And it's hard to believe that they would do that unless Disney just turned around and hates money now and wants to see $1 billion franchise run to the ground. It makes no sense why they would take that stance, because just look at her track record now. She completely blundered. Like I just did words
bungled.
Right like I just did the English language right there is what she did to what she did to Star Wars. Like, it's just inconceivably how you could take a literal license to print money and just tear it up.
What's the story on how she got the job to begin with? Like, I'd never heard of her.
I believe she was actually at Lucasfilm, and she worked with Steven Spielberg and George Lucas for a time, and she was like a intern, somebody, some staffer with them. And she got hired up internally, and she just kind of took over when Disney bought the company and inherited Lucasfilm, and George Lucas actually left, and she actually just took the reins from there.
It would. I think it'd be a good idea if the one that they had like heading up the Star Wars wing or whatever was like the same people responsible for the MCU. Because with the exception of a few hiccups, the MCU has actually been solid as fuck.
Well, it's funny you should say that, because Jon Favreau is actually attached to the MCU. He was actually pulled up from that. He's actually one of the individuals in charge of the Mandalorian. He's the head guy over there.
Well, shit.
Yeah.
There you go.
By hiccup, you mean Brie Larson?
Yeah. Well,
that's less of a hiccup and more of a
dumpster fire,
a heaving cough, like that's like I'm sorry, I accidentally dropped my fucking lung.
Yeah. What? But yeah, Jon Favreau, he plays you've seen the Iron Man movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know his bodyguard? The guy that plays his bodyguard?
Yeah, he's the director. Yeah.
Yeah. That's Jon Favreau.
Huh.
But he's actually attached to the MCU, and he actually was talking about bringing more people over from the MCU. Well, it's been rumored that they're bringing more talent over from the MCU over to Star Wars, and trying to, because they did a real great job of getting people excited for an entire franchise and making an entire cinematic universe over it. So it does make sense that they get people from that team over to Star Wars. But they were talking about actually getting the I forget his name, but the guy that plays the Winter Soldier, because he has a pretty striking resemblance to young Luke. There's rumors about
fucking Bucky.
Yeah, he kind of has that young Mark Hamill look, and there was actually rumors that he could be tapped.
Sebastian Stan.
Yeah, he could actually be tapped to play young Luke Skywalker in a future Luke Skywalker centric series. which would be an amazing move if that ever happens. But I don't see how that's ever going to be if Kathleen Kennedy is indeed staying. I think that
I mean it would be a really nice redemption arc if Kathleen Kennedy got the boot or just didn't get renewed, and then they bring like Johnny Boy over and fucking they like completely like redo the whole Luke arc, because I know like it was a big contention among the fan base how Luke was kind of ruined in the fucking sequel trilogy.
Not just Luke, they did the same thing. They kind of turned Han Solo into a deadbeat dad, where he'd like abandon his kid and then get killed by him.
I like how
Spoilers.
Luke spent all this time reading about ancient Jedi shit, and then Rey comes and burns it all to the ground.
Yeah, good. Oh, or how I don't, there is some kind of like stabs. Like if you watch, have you guys watched Mandalorian at all? Spoiler warning. By the way.
No.
Do you ever plan to?
I'm on the second season.
Okay, I won't spoil it, but you'll see. There's some jabs in the Mandalorian. There's obviously a house divided over there at Lucasfilm, and I think they need to get their house in order. And I think the best way to do that, and the smartest move going forward for both the fans and the franchise, was to see a departure of Kathleen Kennedy and her team from Lucasfilm. I think that would probably be what's best for Star Wars and the fandom as a whole. But we'll see what happens, because there's a culture war definitely going, and it's definitely going towards the other side, not the other. So we'll see.
Yeah.
You know who Sebastian Stan was in that I didn't even, what movie he was in? I didn't even realize till right now.
What's that?
Do you ever see The Covenant?
Oh yeah.
He was the bad guy in that.
He was.
That was, what a silly movie that movie was.
It was.
You have all these superpowers, but every time you use them, you get older.
Yeah, you get.
Oh fuck.
But still in the realm of rumor, but a little bit less cynical. Keanu Reeves is looking incredible as a fan favorite Star Wars Sith Lord. The last article was coming by way of Cinema Blend, by the way. You can visit cinemablend.com and look at that article yourself if you want to get more in depth with it. This one comes by way of InsideTheMagic.net, where it's basically just telling us that Keanu Reeves is looking incredible as fan favorite Star Wars Sith Lord Darth Revan, which would be fantastic. And I know there's a rumor going around that he's tapped for some project. The specifics on that is not really out right now, as far as I know. I haven't found anything concrete yet. But if they are doing the Old Republic, not the High Republic, because that's just straight trash, which I didn't even put in this video, but it's worth mentioning. Did you guys hear about the new characters that they introduced for the Star Wars The High Republic comic book?
No.
A literal rock named Geode.
A Jedi Rock?
A Jedi rock. A fucking Jedi rock named Geode. It's supposed to
The
be...
Pilgrims used to ride that shit for miles.
Yeah.
Fucking
exactly. That's what
Pokemon did that shit first, though, man.
Yeah, well, Geodude. Yeah, but still Geodude.
Yeah.
At least Geodude had a face, a mouth, and arms and could say his name. This is just
That makes sense.
a rock. It's just a rock.
A sentient rock.
Yeah, it's not a rock, man.
It's
It's not a rock with arms.
just a rock, bro.
Just a rock, bro. That's it. And it's supposed to be a navigator for a ship. And guess what the ship is called that it's a navigator on? Guess. Any takers?
The Geomancer? I don't know.
Stalagmite?
I fucking wish. It's called the Vessel. It's called Vessel.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Trash.
up over there at the creative team at Lucasfilm. That is the most trash shit I've ever heard in my life. Oh my god. Like, if you want any more evidence on why Kathleen Kennedy and her team needs to, like, kick rocks out of Lucasfilm, Exhibit A, everyone. Geode, the Jedi Rock, and the legendary Starship Vessel. Man. But
So they won't forget the name.
Exactly. How could you? Hey guys, you want to go get that new Geode action figure for Star Wars? Just go out in the backyard.
It's just a rock.
Yeah, just go in the backyard. Dust one off. Perfect. But I was trying to have a more upbeat transition. But yeah, Keanu Reeves, if he's getting tapped to play Darth Revan, and if they are in fact doing a movie trilogy from the Old Republic, that would be just fantastic. Like, I don't think you could ask for anything better. Oh, I mean, besides obviously bringing Luke Skywalker back and doing a actual Luke TV series with Tano, and yeah. But that's some good thing. Also, keeping up on Disney news is Disney has put the banhammer on a bunch of movies lately, particularly ones from your and mine's childhood, such as Peter Pan, The Aristocats, and Dumbo.
Wait, why are they banning Peter Pan? Why Dumbo?
Because of the stereotypical portrayal of the crow.
Oh, the crows.
They said it was a stereotypical caricature of African Americans, which
well, then they better get rid of the Wiz then.
The Wiz, I don't know. I think that
they have crows and that are just as bad.
I mean, sure. And the Aristocats, it's all. I think it's all because of their portrayal of racial stereotypes. They've been deemed insensitive to.
What was racist in the Aristocrats?
The
Chinese cat.
Yes, the Siamese.
Yeah,
cat. Siamese, that one. Yep, exactly, nailed it. When they're playing the piano with the chopsticks. It's just a cat. But yeah.
Let's just erase history and pretend this stuff doesn't happen ever. Yeah, okay.
That
makes sense.
Kind of my feelings on it too. I mean, you can't just throw out the good with the bad. The bad's always going to exist, but these things exist in the cultural zeitgeist for a reason, and I think they're important. They're a part of our cultural heritage and history, and just getting rid of them, I think, is a mistake. Are there bad, maybe stereotypical stuff in there? Possibly, but it did exist, and I think it's important. That we don't just ignore that part of our history as well.
No.
I mean, that's. I don't think this is going to age well for Disney. I don't think this is the particular way of how you should go about dealing with these things. I mean, eventually these are just going to fall into the classics.
I think it's just going to fucking lead to the Streisand effect for a lot of this shit.
Exactly, and that could be
it could be especially like kids, like teenagers especially. They're all the same at their core. Yeah. Like if you tell them not to do something or there's something they are not allowed to see, they're gonna seek it out.
Well, yeah, prohibition has never worked. It always has the opposite effect it did during alcohol. When they prohibit that, with drugs, they do that now. They have these black markets.
Like there's. Especially in the internet age where it's so easy to find shit, right. Like there's nothing that makes that will make something be seen more than by saying, yeah, this shit was offensive, so you're not allowed to see it anymore.
Let's see if I'll pull
so, oh man, well, yeah.
Just to prove your point. Look, just to prove your point, they just did the whole Dr. Seuss thing where they prohibited a bunch of books there. I think there were 7 books total that they that they just banned and got rid of. They canceled straight out. Now you're seeing these books sell for hundreds of dollars in some instances.
Yeah.
There's always going to be some kind of black market that rises around stuff like this. Prohibition has never worked for its intended purpose. I don't see Disney. What they're trying to do, I guess, is right, but I don't think it's going to have that intended effect. I think it's going to ultimately be.
Well, I mean, it's just they don't want to offend anybody because, like, yeah, that stuff is offensive, for sure. Like, not every Chinese person is a Chinese stereotype,
right?
Obviously, but. Like, I mean, it's supposed to be a joke, and, like, those were villainous characters anyway.
Right.
So it's, like, pointing out the very worst of a certain culture.
Yeah,
like... associating that stuff with the worst of that culture, that'd be like me getting like trying to get like the fucking Austin Powers movies banned because of the depiction of fat bastard.
Right.
So
or just
he's fat and gross. So like,
British people, they're bad tea.
Yeah, like
stereotype too. I mean,
yeah, and I'm part British as well. So fucking,
yeah.
That's like super. But no, like I don't. I know whenever I see like a fat guy in any form of media, he's probably going to be either the comic relief or like the friend character that doesn't get the girl, right? But here's the thing: how could I get offended by that when I myself am a comic relief and the friend that doesn't get the girl? Like, how am I going to get upset at reality? You can't. And then if
I demand an overweight shonen protagonist,
right? And if that stuff doesn't apply to you, then why would you get offended on behalf of the people that it does apply to? Like, you're obviously an exception.
Because
that was like.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I say that. Remember when fucking what's the guy from Twilight? What's his name?
Robert Pattinson.
When Rob Halford did refuse to work out for Batman because it was a stereotype, and it's not a stereotype. You don't see me out there fighting crime.
Ooh, I didn't put this in the news either, but funny you should mention that he's actually done horrible on the set of Batman. There's rumors going around where he refused to work out. He was responsible for multiple delays on production on the set, but also apparently he had a sexual encounter with the with the actress playing Catwoman on the set's Batmobile prop. And apparently, there's a video of that floating around somewhere.
Well,
I mean, I gotta say, like, if
I had the chance, I'd probably take it too.
My dislike for the guy aside, like, that is a legendary thing to be able to say.
Oh yeah,
like I'm Batman and I fucked Catwoman on the Batmobile. Like that's yeah.
To be fair, in the Drew Carey show, Drew Carey fucked on the Batmobile too, and they took it away from him.
Aww.
Drew Carey did it first.
Yeah, but apparently, yeah, there's supposed to be a video going around with. I don't even know.
That's funny.
I didn't look up who the actress is that plays her yet. I haven't covered that yet. I just want to see if the movie's even going to come out before I even bothered covering that content, because the nightmares coming out of what's going on with the stories of the production of that film.
It'd be funny if it was still Halle Berry.
I don't think it's not Halle Berry. I know that for a fact.
No, it is.
She's a much classier lady than that.
Edward from Twilight fucked Halle Berry on the Batmobile.
No, Kravitz. I think that's how you say
Kravitsky.
Kravitsky.
Is she
Johnson.
in anything else?
She was in a lot of shit. Okay, hold on. She was in. She played Mary Jane Watson in Spider-Man. Oh, she was Letta Lestrange in Fantastical Beast.
Well, you said she played Mary Jane in Spider-Man? Which one?
The voice in the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that one. Okay.
She did Catwoman in the Lego Batman movie.
Yeah.
She was one of the brides in Mad Max Fury Road. She was. Oh, she was in First Class, X-Men First Class, Angel Salvador. Other than that, nothing really I've ever really seen.
What about that? So nothing. She's in nothing big, right? Because I don't.
She was in Fantastical Beasts. She was in the Lego Man movie. She was in X-Men First Class.
I mean, that's pretty big.
X-Men First Class. Who did she play? Was she the Jean Grey?
No, Angel Salvador. Some side character, I think. I don't know. Codename Tempest.
Oh, I have no clue. Whatever. Like I said.
I don't know.
Either way, I just think that's the most heroic story. Like, I'm kind of mad that it affected.
Well, good for him.
I'm be kind of mad it affected the release of a Batman movie, but that's a cool story, I guess. We gotta live for the story.
I mean, if I had the chance, I would.
I think we all would. So it's kind of hard to judge.
Yeah. I'm not even a big Batman fan, and I would do that.
Rob's got a Batman chair.
I have a Batman chair.
Nice.
I want to get the Joker.
Yeah. I should see when I left Batman.
No, that's not Batman.
Maybe this.
It's the wrong jingle there, my friend.
So kiss my
Got the Joker behind me as well. I am a uber Batman fan, which is like I said, the reason I haven't covered that content yet is because I'm not even sure if that movie's even going to come out.
I wish they would do a live action Killing Joke. That'd be a great storyline to do.
It would be great. I don't think they'll touch it now.
It's too dark though.
Not that it's too dark, because look at the Dark Knight trilogy. There's a lot of themes there, but I think they won't touch it only because it's going to have to stack up against the cartoon, and it's a lot to stack
Mark
against
Hamill.
it. Mark Hamill, he'll be too old to play that Joker.
Didn't he play it in the cartoon though? Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're saying it's got Mark Hamill, so it's hard to compete.
So, in other Disney news, so I know I covered this in some other DNDB news, actually twice, about Chris Evans reprising his role as Captain America. It looks like he was fibbing, and it's been in the cards all along, and he may indeed be close to striking a deal return as Captain.
They're also saying that he impregnated her too.
Yeah, I left that out, but yeah, they said she might be pregnant. That's what's going to cause the issues with completing the movie, because if he got her pregnant, she's not going to be able to fit in the suit. Oh my gosh, that's the most heroic story. I was going to be Batman, but
then I fucked Catwoman.
but then
Catwoman.
I laid it down on the Batmobile, and I got my.
I mean, could you imagine being that kid though? Could you imagine being that kid? Like, your dad fucked on the Batmobile, and here you are.
Yeah. Well, it'd be a better story if the movie gets made, I think. I think the movie's going to have to be made for that to seal the deal on that, but yeah.
She better name that kid Damian Wayne.
If not, you're the kid that ruined the Batman movie. You made your mom not fit in the Catwoman suit. That'd suck.
Did you guys finish WandaVision? Did you guys ever watch WandaVision?
I did not watch it.
No.
I watched it. I liked it.
Well,
it's a slow burn.
Yeah, that's the problem though. I haven't watched it yet. I am gonna have to watch it, obviously, to see what's gonna happen or get some kind of frame of reference going into MCU phase. Was it phase 4 now?
Yeah. So next up is they teased the new Captain Marvel or Marvel woman thingy.
Yeah, I don't.
What's her face? Captain Marvel.
Marvel woman, Captain Marvel woman thingy.
They replaced Brie Larson. Yeah, I don't care. But I think if done right, I believe that Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to be pretty good. Hopefully, it's not trash.
Next up is the Black Widow movie.
Yeah, but that's a prequel.
And then we have
obviously
Falcon and the Winter Soldier. When's that coming out? March 19th, it says.
Yep, comes out this month and next week.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
Yep.
And then Loki comes out in June.
I'm excited for that too.
And then What If comes out later on, and that is a animated series.
Yeah. I think what they're talking about over here, because there's rumors that Chris Evans is going to show up as like an evil Hydra version of himself in the new Doctor Strange
Hail Hydra.
film. Yeah, the Hail Hydra, Captain America, that infamous. I'm surprised you didn't know about that, but yeah, he's supposed to be the Captain Hydra, Captain America.
I only know about that because I go on 4chan. And they made such a meme. They made such a meme out of that moment where he said "Hail Hydra."
That's because it pissed off a lot of fans, and I can see why. Secret Wars was not a very popular, and it seems like they're leaning into it with the Phase 4, and nobody really liked it.
Let's see. The plot is Dr. Stephen Strange continues research on the Time Stone is hindered by a friend turned enemy,
Ooh.
resulting in strange, unleashing unspeakable evil. I know that they got Tobey Maguire is supposed to be in it, and then the other guy, and then no, not Tobey Maguire. Wait, is it Tobey? Andrew Garfield.
Andrew Garfield, yeah.
They're supposed to be in the Spider-Man movie, not
Yeah.
not Doctor Strange.
That I've actually read conflicting reports about that, saying that he's not going to be in the new Spider-Man movie.
Well, Wikipedia has Jamie Foxx coming back as Electro.
Let's trust Wikipedia real quick. No, I think it's
I
going to
trust
be.
Wikipedia.
I think it's going to be tied to like either Doctor Strange multiverse, Enter the Multiverse, or possibly the What If project. Because apparently that the new Doctor Strange film is supposed to have the evil version of Captain America, and it's supposed to introduce Wolverine into the MCU, which I'm pretty interested to see who they're going to get to be Wolverine through the MCU.
Doesn't Sony still have the rights to?
They're leasing
the
it
X-Men
back. They lease it back to each other, and that's why you've seen in WandaVision you had like the Fox's version of Quicksilver in WandaVision.
Well, Evan Peters shows up in WandaVision, yeah.
As as Quicksilver, and he's not the MCU Quicksilver. I don't think
he's dead. So.
Yeah. That's true. But there's that, and then there's that. I think they were supposed to have. I wonder if they're ever going to actually do that Venom, that second Venom movie
with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, Tom Hardy. I know they're supposed to. It looked like they had like a Carnage introduction lined up.
They teased Carnage with what's his name? Woody Harrelson.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson. But
really? That'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah, Woody Harrelson is Carnage and Tom Hardy. I actually enjoyed that Tom Hardy Venom movie. A lot of people didn't like it, and it did take a lot of interesting directions with the character. But I thought it made more sense like a more likable anti-hero, not like a broody, angsty Sasuke-esque edgelord like Eddie Brock used to be.
Well, the fucking Spider-Man 3, Eric Foreman Venom was awful.
Yeah, you can't do worse than that. That's nowhere but up from there. Like a skinny Venom.
Venom's supposed to be from my parents' basement. Speaking of Marvel, did you see that fans are petitioning to get Deadpool to replace Stan Lee as cameos?
Oh yeah,
Stan Lee's in every movie. They want Deadpool to be in every movie.
That'd be fantastic. I don't know if they're going to make if Ryan Reynolds is down to make another Deadpool movie. I'm sure if the fans say they want it, I'm sure he'll make another one. But I
still haven't seen the second one yet.
It's worth it. I like Domino in there. I thought she was kind of a cool character in it.
I need to watch it.
You do.
It's on my list.
It's worth it. It's not as I will say it's not as good as the first one, but that disclaimer aside, it's still a good movie with its own merits. I just thought the weak link is the whole Juggernaut story to it. It kind of just didn't make sense. It was kind of jarring. They just kind of just dropped him on everybody. Like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's pretty good. But yeah, I mean, seeing Chris Evans return as Captain America is all good news. Definitely better than Natalie Portman taking over for Chris Hemsworth as Thor.
I love Natalie Portman, but she is not buff enough.
No.
Does not have the body type to be wielding a fucking giant hammer.
Especially now you got Gina Carano out there. Hey, Gina Carano's got the time now. Put her in there. I'm sure she'd be great for that role.
You know who they should fucking get to do it?
Huh.
They should get Brenna of fucking Tarth to do it.
Well,
from Game of Thrones.
Well,
Gwendolyn Christine.
Yeah, she doesn't have. I don't want to say she doesn't have like the look, the aesthetic needed for the Jane Foster Thor.
What? Like fucking what is I don't even know what Jane Foster Thor looks like. I'm looking it up right now.
Okay. You see? Do you see?
Blonde with big tits.
Exactly. But neither does.
Is there any more of a classic?
Portman isn't neither of those.
Any more of a classic look than blonde with big tits, though? Like,
I mean, Gal Gadot would be pretty good too.
Well, here's what I don't understand. Based on the whole in fucking Avengers, when he goes back in time and he takes Mjolnir out of the timeline.
Yeah.
So doesn't that fuck up past Thor because he doesn't have his hammer anymore?
Maybe.
Because I don't think he took Chris Evans didn't take it back.
Yeah, I thought he did. He took the stone.
No, he took the stone. I don't know. Did he take Mjolnir back too? Did he? I don't remember seeing that.
Because they had the group. He replaced because he had like the. They kind of did a nod to like the the Marvel Ultimate Universe where he had like the Groot like forged hammer from that star. And that
okay. I guess Mjolnir is with him when he gets on the thing. I didn't realize it was in his hand.
Because he's the only one that could hold Mjolnir. That's one of the reasons he went back.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, and the Vision was dead because the Vision could also hold Mjolnir.
What are you the god of again, brother? I'm the god of that one Led Zeppelin song.
Yeah.
Come from the land of the ice and snow.
Yeah. But you know, I don't know. I think it's I don't know how I feel about the Jane Foster Thor replacing Chris Hemsworth. As long as Chris Hemsworth's character is still around, I think I'm okay with it.
Let's see. Who could we have? What's a good blonde actress we could have?
What that would fit that?
Not Maggie Roberts.
Like I say, you doesn't have to be the hair. You can dye the hair. Like Gal Gadot would be perfect.
Trish Stratus.
Reese Witherspoon.
Does she have the acting chops to pull off of that?
I mean, she's a live actress. Like fucking.
Yeah, I don't know about that. Look at Ronda. Look at Ronda Rousey. She's like the worst actor on the planet.
Well, she also wasn't very good at
what about
the promo portion of pro wrestling either.
That's true.
Charlize Theron.
No, I don't think she's buff enough.
No. Emma Roberts.
No.
Just a joke.
Like I said, it'd have to be like I think Gina Carano would be good. Gal Gadot would be good. And it's like it's like casting Batman. It's like really hard to find a good fit. You know what I mean?
I think.
What about the chick from the Big Bang Theory?
No, she's too short. She's not stacked enough. Like it needs to be a woman you need to be like kind of afraid of. It has like an intimidating presence. I think presence is half of it.
So like a younger, buffer Angelina Jolie.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Amber Rose.
Amber Rose.
Getting a divorce.
No, she's too small.
Guys, hear me out. Hear me out.
All right, what you got?
Betty White.
Dude.
Love it. Sold.
I don't even care if she fits it or not. I'm down to see Betty White.
Like, if there's any living human being that would be qualified to wield Thor's hammer, I think it would probably be Betty White.
Yep. Well, I guess that's true since Mr. Rogers is already dead.
Right. Yep.
But moving on, we'll go to other TV news. I know you guys are like, Dexter's back, the cartoon? No, guys. Dexter, Michael C. Hall, you know, you may know him from such memes as the guy that looks baffled with his raised eyebrows and blinks a lot. You know the meme.
That's his true legacy that lives on.
Yeah, well, that will live on
the guy from the meme.
The guy from the meme. Well, that's how you know you've made it. That's how you know you're immortalized forever. But you made it to meme status. Well, Michael C. Hall is coming back to Dexter. because a lot of people hated the season finale for it, so they're doing a season 9 and then trying to reboot the series, which I loved it, and I know you guys haven't seen it or just outright reject it on merit, but it is a good show. It is interesting to watch, and I'd recommend it for sure. But it's coming back, so for all you other guys who may be watching this now or later, I would give it a look, and because it is gonna start back up with a season 9. On to more comic related news. If you guys know The Walking Dead, right? Heard of it? Maybe
Oh, of course.
Okay. So, Robert Kirkman, the creator of The Walking Dead, did a kind of like his take on the whole superhero genre, kind of like his whole stab at the whole genre in Invincible.
Yeah.
And it is it's a pretty interesting series. I enjoyed it. I read the entire run of the comics, which I think was 500 some odd issues, and I like went through it, dude. It was something I sat down and just read, like binge read. So it is really good. It has some really adult themes with it. So essentially, his dad is like Superman, right? So he's like the son of Superman. He doesn't really have any superpowers at first at the start of the comic, and he thinks he's just, my dad's a superhero and I'm nothing. And he has to deal with that whole stigma. Turns out he eventually does get his superpowers and stuff, and his dad teaches him how to do it. But when he gets his superpowers and they manifest, his dad says, "Listen, I'm not really a superhero. I'm actually an alien from a whole other planet, and I've been prepping this world for invasion, and we want to seed this planet and revive our dying race."
Wait, what did we talk about?
Invincible.
I'm sorry, I thought you were still talking about Dexter, and I was like, what a weird turn Dexter is.
No. We're talking about Invincible. It is actually really good. So then he ends up, he gets like basically destroyed. His dad just lets him get beat to a pulp and flies away off the planet and stuff. And he becomes like the next hero and basically has to cope with his dad being this super threat that's eventually going to come back to Earth, and he's going to have to prep to one day fight the greatest hero Earth has ever known on his own as his son. And it's really good. And there's a lot of different themes that it copes with and stuff. But if you are too lazy and just wrote me off as soon as you heard, I have to read something, F you, guy. I'm not doing that. You don't have to read it if you don't want to, because on Amazon Prime Video, it's coming to you as a series. It's going to be an animated series. And I've watched the trailer for it. I'm not going to play it here because they're going to copyright strike me and claim my content, and no thank you. But if you guys are interested in that, definitely suggest you should, if any of that sounded appealing to you, check out the trailer, because the animation does look really good, and it is every bit as brutal as the comic books were.
Speaking of brutal, they're making a Hellsing Ultimate anime into a movie.
Oh, a live action?
I believe it's supposed to be live action, yeah.
Ooh, what do the cast looks like?
I think they just kind of announced that they were doing it, so I don't know if there's any cast lined up yet.
Is it a Western production?
Hellsing movie, live action. Let's see what we got going on here.
Because I don't want to get my hopes up, because it turns out like the mess.
Oh, Amazon's doing it.
Amazon?
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know though, because they tried doing stuff with their game studios, and that stuff always fell flat. So I'll be cautiously optimistic, I guess, because if it came from like the same people that brought us such gems as the live action movie, or what was it, Brotherhood? They tried doing live action.
Well, the screenwriter is the guy who did John Wick.
Okay.
Derek Klost. In addition to writing let's see who else. He's also a writer. He also is doing the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So that's what else he's doing.
The Winter Shoulder.
Winter Soldier. Yeah, no. That's why.
That's the evolved. That's the evolved form of the cold shoulder.
Well, that's why I was super excited about we were talking about earlier. That's one of the reasons why I was super excited about Falcon and Winter Soldier, is because he's attached to the project as well. And I like a lot of the stuff that he's done. Especially he actually did a series on Amazon uh, with Amazon as well. I guess he's kind of just working for them now. That's weird. What is that? I forget the name of it, but it follows like a young man and his dad dies at the beginning, and he's trying to track down his mom. And
Was this an anime?
huh?
You talking about an anime?
No, it's not. It's not an anime. He's
A
like
movie?
It's a TV series. Well,
Because it kind of sounds like Pokemon.
His dad dies, and his mom.
His
Wait,
dad
what happened?
his dad dies of cancer.
Okay.
And then his mom left him like when he was a baby, and went down to Florida, and he tries to track her down because she took his car, and he's trying to get his dad's car back. Because his dad said that was the only thing he had to leave him. But
Oh yeah, you were telling me I should watch that.
yeah, it's really good. It's definitely something you would like, Jeremy. I don't know about so much Lunakage as
Oh
much.
no! Oh no!
What?
Netflix just announced a live-action adaptation of Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh my god.
Wait,
No.
you say YouTube?
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah, but you said
Spirit
YouTube's producing
Detective. No, Netflix is doing it.
it? No.
Why?
Oh my
no.
god.
Why? My favorite anime.
I know it.
I can't wait until Yusuke's name is changed to Justin or something.
I'm Justin Smith, and I'm a spirit detective.
Yeah,
And here's my.
Yeah, and this is my assistant Jill,
Chill.
who has blue hair for no reason. Oh my gosh. Dude,
God,
they
that
were
fucking
all
pissed me
trash.
off.
The Death Note was trash. That stupid, what's it called? What was the one they did? Was it Brotherhood? I believe so, right?
Yeah, with the fucking. You know what kills me is like. Why would you put a Japanese guy in a blonde wig? He's
I don't
clearly
know.
drawn to be English.
I'm Edward Ulrich, but I'm an Asian kid in a
The giant blonde wig
yeah,
that does not
crappy
fit well.
blonde wig. Yeah, it's not even a good blonde wig. It was just a crappy blonde wig.
This is my Party City wig.
Right?
Representation.
Oh man, it doesn't make sense though. Just like Willem Dafoe is the fucking.
That was fucking silly.
They won't cast him as the Joker, the role he was born to play, but they'll make him.
Yeah.
Like him a Shimigami.
Shimigami, yeah. That was
Like,
good.
what's next? Are they gonna do like Code Geass live action movie?
Yeah, starring Burt Reynolds, always dead.
Burt Reynolds
The corpse of Burt
and
Reynolds.
fucking Russell Crowe as Cece, the robot woman thingy.
Russell Crowe.
Oh, man. You know what? They actually did a Doom Squad live action series, and they got the Mummy. What's his name? Brendan Fraser.
Brandon Fraser.
Yeah, he actually plays the robot guy in that, and he's actually really good. I actually enjoyed that a lot too.
Oh, God, Brandon Fraser hasn't been in anything lately, so that's cool.
Yeah, I actually liked him as an actor, and I like his character in that show too, Doom Squad. It's really good. So on from we'll go over to some Dungeons and Dragons news just to keep it moving along. Looks like
Didn't Zayner's Guide to Everything come out?
yeah, Xanathar's Guide to Everything's been out, bro.
No, what's the new one that's just coming out? There's a new one coming out, isn't there?
Yeah,
A new book?
There's a new book coming out. The one that was just released just before Christmas was Tasha's Cauldron, and then there's another book, Guide to Ravenloft.
Candlekeeper Mysteries.
Is going back to Ravenloft. What?
Candlekeeper Mysteries is coming out this year.
Yep. That's I think that's like a small module thing. I don't think it's the next big expansion book though.
It's a short standalone D&D venture
Right.
for characters 1 to 16.
But I think there's supposed to be like a Guide to Ravenloft. It's supposed to be the next big expansion, which I don't know why we need because you already had Curse of Strahd that just came out. But you have you have all of the Forgotten Realms, and then we're just going to focus right here on the Sword Coast and this particular region right here. I think they're trying to jump on that gothic horror.
Man.
TTRPGs, and they're trying to develop that side of D&D a little bit more, which I can respect. But if I did some content on it before, but it looks like what's it called?
There's 2 new subclasses.
Yes.
Psychologist Spirit for bards and Unpack of the Dead or Undead Pack for werewolf or warlocks.
Warlocks. Yep, but they're also with Unearthed Arcana 2021 is kind of an unofficial source that people use a lot in homebrews. They actually came out with a guide to where you can make your own Dampier half vampire characters or like a Frankenstein's monster-esque character too.
That'd be kind of
It's
sick.
cool. Yeah,
They should do a Blade Walker or a Daywalker class.
it might. Maybe if they get Matt Mercer on it.
They should do Daywalker and then like have him be like fucking Pride from Seven Deadly Sins, where
Oh, no.
I'm super strong at noon, and that's the only time I'm
Well, they got
good.
like the Witch Hunter thing because they got Matt Mercer to team up with Vin Diesel, and they made that whole fake class and
Oh, the blood cursing
Blood
thing.
Hunter. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wait, Matt Mercer is in the voice actor?
yeah.
yeah, he's doing D&D,
He's
didn't
a
know?
big D&D guy. Yeah,
No shit.
he makes a lot.
He's
of content.
Matt
pretty
Mercer.
cool. Yep.
If I'm not mistaken, is basically like the second Troy Baker.
Yeah.
And despite his recent failure in The Last of Us 2, Troy Baker is like my favorite male voice actor. So
Yeah.
By default, I love Matt Mercer too.
Chris Sabbatt's my favorite.
Chris Sabat is great, but he hates Funimation.
Well-
for sure. No.
Chris Sabat.
Yeah, Chris Sabat.
I mean,
I like Chris Sabbat.
obviously as a voice actor, he's really fucking good.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that whole we won't get into the whole drama with that. That's a whole other video for sure.
Like, I mean, I'm a fucking '90s kid. I grew up with Chris Sabat. He was my Vegeta,
And Piccolo.
And Piccolo.
and
Yeah.
Piccolo, and Kuwabara.
Yeah. And if you watch the English dubs of One Piece, he's also the green-haired guy. What's his name? Zoro.
Zorro, yeah.
And if you
He's
watch
Not so much.
He's also All Might.
he is All Might. Yes, in the English dub. And he's also, if you watch Black Clover, he's what's his name? Well, he's like the leader of the Black Bulls, the captain of the Black Bulls. I forget his name.
Oh, he was also that fucking robot from Trinity Blood.
Yep. So yeah, he definitely has a wide portfolio over there at Funimation for sure. But yeah, like I don't know why you don't even give D&D a shot. I know it's not your bag, but yeah, Matt Mercer. If you watch Critical Role, him and a lot of his voice actor buddies play D&D, and it's entertaining to watch. It makes it rough for other people just trying to play D&D, and you get the what they call the Mercer effect, where people expect you as a DM to be Matt Mercer and have all this stuff. It just doesn't work that way. Sometimes. But
Well, I mean, I've played it with you twice.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun, but I definitely it's less about the game and more about me enjoying hanging out with friends.
yeah, I get that. Well, if you enjoy this, we actually do Wednesdays and Sundays now. If you feel like popping in whenever, if that's up to you, we can discuss that at a later time. However, onto the cast of the D&D, the 2020 D&D movie. Yes, looks like they had Chris Pine slotted to be the lead. You may know him from such roles as Captain Kirk in the Star Trek universe reboot. That's pretty good. I think he's had some pretty strong roles in some other stuff too, like The Outlaw King on Netflix. If you guys watch that, it's pretty fantastic too. Sophia Lillis, I don't know what these guys are playing, what characters they're playing. It doesn't really say. It just says that they've been hired on. Regé Jean Page, I'm not sure who this gentleman is. Let's click on him. Oh, this looks like something that was pretty popular on Netflix. I forget the name of it, but I recognize him. Who else we got? You know who Sophia Lillis is? Anybody?
No.
Okay. She kind of has a familiar face. She almost looks like that girl that in what's it called? elf.
Zoe African Alice.
Yeah, she kind of looks like her in the face a little bit, right?
She also looks like Katy Perry then.
She also looks like Katy Perry then. I say more like her than Katy Perry. Michelle Rodriguez, because why not?
Of course.
Vin Diesel's gonna show up on a black stallion.
Dude, that's who could play the female Thor, Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah, I mean, she might be a little bit short for the role, but yeah, she's got the kind of.
I mean, women tend to be short.
But not the Thor women. Thor women's she's taller, but she's definitely got like the tough guy.
Oh yeah.
Going for.
It'd also be nice if she had a lead role. Yeah. Finally, because she always just plays like the tomboy tough chick who dies. You know.
Yeah. Well, I just want to like.
She's basically the female warrior.
But now that I see her that she's attached to this project, I just want to see Vin Diesel part of it because he's a big nerd too. He plays D&D too, so I don't know why. I figured it'd just be natural for him to be in this movie. I don't know why he's not. Also, fun fact: I don't know if he's a D&D nerd, but he's definitely a like RPG nerd. But the guy Henry Cavill,
Superman.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Yeah,
he's pretty famously nerdy.
He hurt himself on The Witcher.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, they delayed because he hurt himself.
Was that season 2?
Yeah.
Dang. But I just
too many coins.
Yeah, too many coins to that Witcher.
You see the thing where his muscles were so big that he kept like ripping through his leather pants?
That's first world problems, okay? Oh, I'm so Fabio-ish.
I'm so fucking ripped and beautiful.
My rippling
this leather can't contain me.
My rippling muscles and biceps can't be contained in this mere mortal fabric. Oh no. Bastard. Anyway. And I just see like Vin Diesel riding up on a black stallion. I take this 1/4 span at a time, or whatever, some medieval human in measurement for distances. But Hugh Grant, like shouldn't he be in like in a '90s love movie? Like, isn't that what he's from? Like, if I remember, wasn't he in like
He was in the Bridget Jones' Diary, right?
Bridget Jones' Diary. I think he was in something with Julia Roberts too. Yeah.
Runaway Bride.
Yeah, Runaway Bride. Yep. So yeah, he's just a British actor that plays in like rom-coms in the '90s.
So I'm not nothing
sure.
Wrong with that.
Yeah, it's nothing wrong with that. I just don't know where he'd come in a D&D movie, but you know.
Tavern guy. Bard.
But
Bard's trying to seduce everyone.
I think this is probably one of the picks I like the most. Justice Smith. I liked him a lot. He had a lot of he had a lot of presence watching Detective Pikachu. I think he was one of the only reasons that movie really worked for me. You watch that movie. I think we've seen that in theaters together, right, JerBear?
Yeah, I like Pikachu.
Yeah, and I think a big
Pika.
A big part of the reason I enjoyed that was because of Justice Smith. So
should have had more Gengar in there, though.
I think he's going to probably be kind of like the reluctant guy that's not as powerful. He's like, "Oh, are you serious, guys?" I think he's going to kind of like the comedic relief character. I can see that.
So he's like a cleric, maybe like a funny cleric.
I'm not sure. Cleric. I could see maybe like a
humorous monk.
Maybe a rogue.
I think it'd be a funny rogue.
I think a rogue.
That's swashbuckler rogue.
Yeah. I think Chris Pine's definitely going to be the fighter. Hugh Grant, just because his whole, I think he's got to be kind of a bard character.
Bard or sorcerer, backline sorcerer.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a British accent, so maybe he's the bad guy.
Hello, puppet. I'm here to cast fireball on you.
Yeah, because you know how you know how Hollywood likes to typecast their bad guys with British accents.
Taste my fireball. Magic missile. You bloody wanker.
Yeah. Oh man. So moving on from movies, we're gonna look at video games for a second. Which,
Well, Final Fantasy 14 keeps giving me 1,000 ads.
though, that's because they're releasing a new expansion coming out pretty soon. I'm currently playing a Let's Play with that, so if you want to check out that content, you know where to go. Over on YouTube, or you can visit on Facebook at Dungeons and D-Bags, and you can watch some of Final Fantasy 14 content. Shameless plug over. Your thoughts?
The new Pokemon. Well, there's Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl.
Yeah.
Which I skipped those ones, so I'll probably play those because I never played them.
I
never played Diamond Pearl.
I played them. I know Lunakage was ecstatic about the top-down. You know,
The
it is updated graphics.
the originals, Diamond and Pearl, were not great, but Platinum, the third version, was really good because it fixed a lot of the problems that the original two had.
Right.
So I'm assuming that the remakes will have a lot of that content from Platinum in it.
And I'm not mistaken, that's Unova region, right?
No,
It's not.
no, that's Sinnoh. Sinnoh.
Okay.
Unova is Gen 5.
Okay.
But then we got Pokemon Snap coming out in 2021.
I'm actually pretty.
That's
excited.
exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited for Pokemon Snap.
I had Pokemon Snap on the 64.
I did too, and it was one of my most played games. Outside of
Yeah.
Turok and Golden Eye.
And then we have
Star
the
Wars Pod
Pokemon.
Racers.
What was the other Pokemon? The Ninja one?
Pokemon Legends Arceus, and that's the one I wanted to talk about.
When's that coming out?
That's actually coming out in early 2022. They haven't have a solid release date on that. They'll probably give us something more. We don't even know what the battle system is right now. A lot of people are saying it's turn-based, but I've seen a lot of evidence that it's actually going towards a more action-style combat, like like you've seen with the Final Fantasy VII remakes. That's what a lot of people are saying too.
What was the one? What was it? Final Fantasy X, where they introduced like you had a time gauge for your attack to be able, but you could still move around and stuff.
Yeah.
No, that wasn't 10. No,
that was
10 was the most turn-based the series has been.
11
to that point,
13,
and I loved it. 13 probably, but since I played 13, that's not actually how it worked. It was just an ATB system similar to 7, 8, and 9. The only difference is that your characters did just move around on their own, you know, to kind of simulate like it was a real battle, like they were like, you know, planning their next attack or whatever, but you weren't actually moving them yourself.
Yeah. But the combat style that they allegedly chose for Pokemon Legends Arceus is going to be close to something like you've seen in Final Fantasy VII remake. And a lot of people said you could
Speaking of Final Fantasy VII remake, I have to interject here because I had forgotten about this, but my girl is back.
Yuffie?
And now I need to get a PS5 just so I can play her, and it, you know, that's disappointing. But I mean, she's gorgeous and she's ridiculous, and it's great, and I love it. Also, she seems to be voiced by the same girl who did Futaba from Persona 5. Same person who voices Jessie in the Final Fantasy VII remake. That's what it sounds like. I haven't actually had any confirmation on that yet, but that's a video game I'm looking forward to. I guess it's more like an expansion, but you know, whatever.
Integrate's the second one, right?
Integrate it's not the second one. It is actually just an expansion of the first one.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, the Yuffie story is like a DLC episode that, as of now, is PS5 exclusive.
Sorry, that's $60 on this then, huh?
I'm not playing the remake until it's all done. I can't. They need to release the entirety of the game, and then I'll just play all of them.
Listen, He says that, but he's bought in Skyrim 13 different times.
Okay, one's VR. Okay, the latest one's VR and is worth it. Okay,
It's different.
VR, PlayStation.
I get to wear a monitor on my face. It's different.
It's on his fridge.
no, that's usually on my fridge.
Is it? Is it on your fridge?
No.
Can you get Skyrim on your fridge?
I could if I Bluetooth my stuff to my fridge.
I want to see that. I will play Skyrim if it's on Rob's fridge.
Dover King on my fridge. Yeah. No.
That shit pisses me off.
Yeah, I mean...
This integrated shit.
That's different, though, because I bought the game, I beat it multiple times, but I'm not... If I can't get the game and just play it all the way through, I don't want to buy it, because then you play and you're like, well, I guess I'll finish the game in 80 years when they decide to release the rest of it. But back to Pokemon Legends Arceus, you're supposed to actually be able to move your training character while in combat, and once your team is wiped out, it's rumored that you don't actually white out and leave and go back to a Pokemon Center because they don't exist in this timeline because it kind of takes place in the Meiji era of Japan, and I think that's what the time period's modeled after. That's what some sources on YouTube and online have said. But the Pokemon actually attack you after they done wipe out your team, and if you lose, it's game over. So that's kind of cool.
Getting murked in a Pokemon game.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of darker. I mean that's definitely more adult turn for the series for sure. But that's the reason you're kind of like dressed like a ninja is because there's actually stealth mechanics in it because you can sneak in the grass and like throw Pokeballs at Pokemon and stuff. That's kind of cool. And I do like the aesthetic. I think it's interesting to kind of see like a game setting in Pokemon when it takes place in the past. Not necessarily the present. I think that'd be really interesting too. And I think this is kind of just a test run to see if all this stuff could actually work, if they can kind of envelop and modernize the main series games, which desperately need something to
They need to. I haven't finished like the last 3 Pokemon games that came out.
I have, unfortunately. I played through all the expansions, Sword and Shield. You know why? Because I'm a sucker. And I'm like, you know what? It's Pokemon, here's my money, even though it sucks. I was so disappointed with Sword and Shield. I'm not even going to front.
I really liked Gen 7 a lot, but Sword and Shield just didn't get me invested enough to actually, like, for one, buy a Switch.
Which sucks, because the starters are actually really cool, and I like most of them. I'm not really sold on the water sniper guy, per se. I did a
like Greninja.
He does look too much like Greninja, and like, oh, instead of giving him a long tongue, let's give him a long tail. Instead of a shuriken, let's make him shoot a pointer water bullet. Like, you're right, there's too many similarities there, but I definitely like Incinerate. I thought he's really cool. Especially he's like one of the only Dynamax forms I like. Where he has like he stands on that giant fireball of his own face. I think that's kind of cool. But I did hate the Gigantamax mechanic to death. I wish they would have just expanded the Mega Evolutions. Mega Evolutions would be perfect. There's no need to fix that. It wasn't broken. Well, it was broken, but they fixed it. Just add more to it. Make it less broken.
Then they tried to reinvent it, and then they broke it again.
Yeah. And now, you know how we're gonna fix it? We're gonna allow legendaries in competitive gameplay. No.
Yeah.
That's not how you fix that.
Well, I mean, Megas were cool because it gave some viability to previously unviable like Pokemon, and not necessarily just in competitive, but also just in general. Like, for example, my favorite Mega period is Mega Lopunny.
Right.
And Mega Lopunny is good in competitive, but regular Lopunny isn't even that great for a normal playthrough.
But
and it's
yeah. What they should do is they should change the nature of IVs and EVs instead of just doing some min-max after game thing. They should allow you to take any Pokemon and then make you actually feel like a Pokemon trainer, and then you can actually put in the time and effort and train any Pokemon you want to get to a level. Like, shit, you watch the anime and you watch Ash's Pikachu take down Lugia and stuff. Like, bro, why if Ash's Pikachu can do that, or his or you see his Charizard take down like a Moltres and stuff, why can't my, you know,
Beedrill.
my Beedrill and my Decidueye, do some like a comparable feat in game, just because stats won't let it happen. I just think there should be like a limit break mechanic to where you can actually train past that Pokemon stat total. Maybe not to infinity, but
Well, that's what Eevee, your perfect natures and your Eevee trainings kind of come in.
you do that, but that's just the metagame. That's the standard for the meta. You know what I mean? But what happens if there's just a Pokemon you want to play in a certain tier? What's going on, Anthony? Thanks for checking us out.
Whoa, we actually got a viewer?
Yeah. Well, yeah, you know what I mean? Because a lot of people have their favorite Pokemon and they just can't put them on a team, and that I think
Gengar's my favorite.
Yeah, see, I mean, he's still kind of competitively viable in some instances, but
I think a lot of competitive viability issues stem mostly from move pools as opposed to actual stat spread.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the evolutions, right? They're the way their stat spread is set up, like they can definitely cover certain roles, right? But due to Eevee's gimmick of it can evolve into a bunch of different kinds of types, they lock those types out of the other type of abilities and attacks. It gives them extremely limited move pools, so they can hardly ever get out of the underused tier.
Right.
With the exception of like Umbreon, which is a decent staller, but it doesn't do it as good as other walls can do it.
Well, that's what
right.
I definitely think should be a way, and I'm not saying it'll be easy or I have all the answers on how it should be done, but there definitely needs to be a way for people to take their favorite Pokemon and use it on the team they want, build the team that they want, and not kind of forcing some kind of metagame standard thing. I understand that you're going to have some kind of meta with everything, but I think it would just make it more interesting if you find a way to kind of like break the mold like that. And with them, I think there's really a chance here to do something like that with them kind of moving away from the old mechanics if they can able to do something right with this Pokemon Legend Arceus, because we can totally turn the meta on its game, on its head, and actually you can build the team that you want. And I think that'd be really cool.
Well, I mean, if the battle system's completely different than the original series, then the meta as we know it is gone.
Absolutely.
So
with this new system, how are traits going to work? Because if you get rid of that whole turn-based mechanic and you're switching over to a resource-based mechanic, like in Final Fantasy VII, like it's rumored to be, a lot of those traits just don't work. They're going to get rid of them.
Well, it's a complete revamp.
Yeah.
Like they can't just like some things they can bring over 1-to-1, like the attack stat, special attack, defense, special defense, stuff like that.
Speed's not going to matter anymore. You're going to have to. It's going to be some kind of stamina bar.
Well, speed could matter because speed could be
movement.
Could be movement speed. Yeah, because like it would immediately make faster Pokemon more viable because like sweepers in general are already a super important part of the metagame.
Right.
But that's just only when they get to go first, right? Like imagine if a sweeper like imagine Jolteon base 130 speed. It's ridiculous.
Right.
Now not only does it go first, but you can't fucking hit it.
Right. Hey, these other Pokemon games, I mean, they're cool and everything, but I definitely think this Pokemon Legends Arceus is definitely the most important title for Pokemon moving forward and for the future of the franchise, because I think it a lot hinges on that. Because you're going to see a lot of old-time Pokemon gamers kind of walk away from the franchise if they don't, kind of meet those expectations or meet them in the middle or do something, because Game Freak definitely let a lot of people down with Sword and Shield, and you're gonna fail to attract a new audience too if you don't modernize. And they're gonna have to do something, and it's really gonna be interesting to see what they come up with Pokemon Legends Arceus for sure.
Yeah.
But it just it's just gonna be really cool to see what they're gonna do with Pokemon, kind of like slacking, because his speeds, he doesn't have the worst speed stat, but without his ability and stuff, he might be a monster if they don't, depending on how they do stats and redistribute them.
Yeah.
Or even worse, Regigigas. Oh man, I think he probably has a shot at actually being in this game, maybe.
Regigigas, yeah, probably, because like he was assuming that it's called Legends Arceus,
Yeah.
so if it's still going to be focusing on Gen 4, then yeah, he's bound to be there.
Right. I think it's kind of cool that they took the. I don't know if you've seen any about the starters. None of the starters are from the Sinnoh region, and my boy Rowlet actually made the starter list for this game, and I'm happy because he's been ever since it came out. He's been my favorite starter.
What's they have the starter list already for what is it?
It's Rowlet, Oshawott, and Cyndaquil.
Oh.
Hey man, I got my Rowlet. I'm good.
I mean, I guess Cyndaquil, because I always started with Cyndaquil in the second gen games, but like none of those are my favorite starters. Oshawott though, why? Did anybody like Oshawott?
Probably because the aesthetic of the game and Samurott. That's his whole thing.
Yeah.
I want to see Greninja only because he wasn't included in Gen 7 at all. Like, because there was no national deck, so there just was no Greninja.
You mean Gen 8?
Gen 8, yeah, sorry. Yeah.
Gen 7, that was when Ash Greninja was playable.
Right.
I mean, like, if they were going with, I mean, it would be kind of hard to do that because they're two water types, but if they were going with ancient Japan, then it would make sense to have a ninja, a samurai, and like a kabuki warrior, type deal.
Yeah, I think they made the choices they made for very specific thematic reasons, and I think Greninja could have done just as well as Oshawott in that spot.
I think it would have been better.
Yeah, in a lot of ways, I think you're right too. Especially because the dark water typing would kind of give it an interesting dynamic with the grass starter too. But I don't think that matters, that triad thing, because I'm not sure if you're going to have a rival or not in this.
Oh yeah,
because it's before the whole concept of trainer, which is is there going to be Pokemon trainer battles in this? Because the whole concept of trainer, this is said to take place before that even happens. So I don't know. There's a lot of things. This could either be a horrible waste of time or the best game Pokemon ever released. And
it's probably going to be a mix of both.
It's so stressful, dude. I so need it to be. I so need it to be the best game ever, just coming off of Sword and Shield. But onto something some of us, especially me and JerBear, can get behind, is this month on March 26th the release of Monster Hunter Rise. But I don't know.
I'm excited. I feel like, Monster Hunter for the place Sony, like, I know that it was more of it held a lot of hands.
Yeah.
Because it introduced a lot of more people to the franchise, and I feel like this new Monster Hunter is not going to be so handheldy.
Yeah, I definitely need for that to be the case. I just want something that I can jump in and play with friends and stuff, and not have to worry about a bunch of exposition and cutscenes and stuff. And I feel like that was the biggest problem with Monster Hunter World, was the pacing. They did do a good job of continually adding content and adding different monsters and stuff, but you ran into walls like the infamous Kieran. How many players did Kieran just drive away from Monster Hunter World? Once you beat the base game and you have to increase your rank, you have to do that one mission where you have to fight that Super Kieran. and that thing can like snipe you with a lightning bolt from across the stage and one shot you, and it just made it
And then
completely
there's
frustrating.
lightning strikes twice, and you gotta fight 2 of them.
Yep.
It's
But
so fucking frustrating. Even with thunder lightning resistance, it was still like impossible.
yeah,
And then the only way to beat it is with 4 people, and then you're always teamed up with these like fucking newbies that are just like,
the guy that's gonna
oh,
try to use the hammer to go against the Kieran, or
I'm
the
gonna
guy
use
with
the great sword, the
Yeah.
slowest weapon in the game.
Yeah, that's definitely not the. You definitely want to try using a different weapon if you're going to against Kieran. It's definitely a faster one. My personal favorite was the insect glaive going against him.
Insect Grave was good.
Mm-hmm.
Longsword's good because it has range and it's very it should be pretty maneuverable. Bow and arrow's good.
There's now apparently it looks like there's a Monster Hunter Rise demo version 2 now available. I might have to check that out a
I
little bit later.
checked it out.
I'll download that on Switch. I haven't touched my Switch in a second. I did return to Pokemon because I was feeling a little bit nostalgic, and then I played a couple rounds. I was like,
It's just not.
my heart. It hurt my heart, man.
It's just sad.
It is. But I like the new dog companions. The idea of the dog companions they have, and
you can ride them.
you can ride them like a horse, and I think that's going to make traversing the terrain a lot easier, especially when you have to deal with stamina as much as you do in this game.
And they added that like kind of like Batman grappling hook thing.
Yeah, where you can shoot the bugs and you can grapple to nothing.
And latch on and swing.
I think this is going to be a more fast-paced game, and I think that's something that was missing from Monster Hunter. It was kind of slow. Like the combat was definitely kind of slow and strategic. I think they put a lot of elements in here to speed it up. Like you can conserve your stamina easier by adding a mount. That grappling hook gives you some kind of vertical mobility that you didn't have in other games, especially if you weren't using things like the insect glaive. I think that's going to do a lot to draw maybe some new players, especially more Western players in, because I think a lot of Western players have a hard time with like the slower, grindier aspects of Monster Hunter, especially just the grind. If you don't like grinding, you don't like this game. That's just true. But looking at the early monster list too, it looks pretty. It's got a pretty impressive roster. But
So video games. Hogwarts Legacy is coming up.
I haven't
Hey,
seen.
man.
I wanted to make content on that too because I'm super interested, but I haven't.
So what's going on with that right now is one of the producers retired and left the project because it turns out that he had a YouTube channel where he was like right winged and he voiced objections to people like Anita Sarkeesian, which
Gamergate stuff.
you can't say anymore because if you have any opinion that's not supportive.
We're here to have fun here, guys. We're gonna try to stay away from that.
Okay, so he had to leave because he got canceled in cancel culture.
Yeah.
So now Hogwarts Legacy is like under all this scrutiny, and I guess a lot of people are like up. They added a trans inclusive character option, so you can be trans, which is cool. But like now people are saying like that's an empty gesture, that doesn't mean anything. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, it's a fucking video game, dog. Like who cares?
I mean,
like Hogwarts is not the battleground for political battle.
Yeah, you can't please everybody, and you're never going to please everybody. So you just don't try. You make the game, and especially if you're making something like Harry Potter, you're going to find fans. People are going to play it, especially if it's an RPG where you can. That's why I love RPG games because it gives you the ability to like insert yourself in those worlds.
Yeah, however you want.
Yeah, and you can build what you want. You can build an idealized version of yourself to navigate a world you want to be in, and that's the appeal for RPGs, and that's why people play them. And if you're gonna put somebody attached like the Harry Potter universe to that, you're gonna make money. It's take my money right now, you know.
All right, I'll pay it. Speaking of beloved franchises, fucking Lord of the Rings Golem. They are releasing pictures and first looks now.
No.
Golem? Isn't he the little...
Oh my god, there's this picture of him with hair, and it looks so bad.
What's What's the fucking what's the target audience?
Did you look it up? There's a teaser.
I got to look this up now.
Look it up.
Oh no, let's go on an adventure, shall we, viewers? Golem with hair.
Just look up Lord of the Rings Golem and go to the images, and it's like,
okay,
it looks like a bad toupee.
Lotor Golem game.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings Golem.
It's a game?
Yeah.
Yeah, out of all the characters in Lord of the Rings, we've always known you wanted to play Golem. Don't even lie.
Is it the spaghetti mess he has on top of his head?
Yeah. With like the choices floating around him.
Yeah.
God, that looks so stupid. That looks like a bad model. You know what that looks like? Is that Until Dawn. You ever play that game?
Oh, I see. Like, he still has, like, actual, like, strands of hair left.
Yeah.
This is supposed to be before he, like, became Golem.
I think this is, like, during his transition into Golem. I don't fucking know. There's an official trailer teaser right now.
Oh, no.
There are stories left to be told.
Why is this one of them?
I'm seeing a bunch of dead fish. I'm seeing a cave. I'm seeing paintings on the wall, like hand cave paintings.
Oh no, guys!
That just sounds
there's Golem on the rock, crawling around,
including our legendary Lazy Boy recliner.
He's leaving the cave.
Every need, and yes, that includes naps.
He's blinking.
It's the St. Patrick's Day sale at
Now he's
Lazy
crawling.
Boy. For a limited time, you can save 20% on everything in the store. Plus, get 15% off everything you need to finish the room.
There he is. He's crawling towards Mordor.
Knowing everyone's happy.
Yeah, where's that egg coming from? Is that you?
Live life comfortably.
Yeah, I don't know where this spikes.
We know you've got your hands full at home.
I'm building a spaceship.
So Instacart
As
is
you
here
can
to
see,
help
only
make
the
grocery
highest
shopping
professional
a little
quality on this
easier.
podcast.
Sorry, guys. There we go. Found it.
No, so yeah, out of all the characters you've ever wanted to be in Lord of the Rings, Gollum. Here you go. And they're trying to say that it's supposed to be like it's a story-driven action adventure.
But you're Gollum.
Sounds like
this character doesn't have a redeeming arc. He's just gonna die chasing this at the end of it all. He's completely unlikable. He's a weak-willed slave to this ring. I mean, why is that something compelling to play through? I think that was completely tone deaf. That is not what Lord of the Rings fans want. They could look at like the first age, maybe see what's going on with like the two blue wizards and the events just prior. Yeah, definitely for sure not a great movie.
Well, let's see. The developer is Diatonic Entertainment, who did Diapona point and click adventures. If this is a point and click game, I'm not playing it. I ain't pointing and clicking my way to Mordor.
I can't see this is going to be a major point and click my way to Mordor.
The Lord of the Rings Gollum is said to be a canonical story in the Middle-earth mythos. It follows a titular character after he discovers the One Ring set before the events of the Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. As such, it is possible for the game will fill in many story-centric gaps presented here or provide additional context to the events of the token books.
Like, there's so many interesting stories you could tell. Like, what happens post Lord of the Rings? You have, like, the complete decimation of the dwarves. Like, what if you get, like, the dwarves and they have to rebuild their entire society because when Gimli just left, like, the perceived leader...
There's the battle to retake the Shire from Sauron.
To Sauron, yep.
There's...
You have the orcs just running around now without a leader.
All the orcs running around. There's Gimli and Legolas go off and do their own adventures for a long time.
And for a long time, then they come back. That's right, because there was a period of time.
And then Legolas goes down south and spends about 100 years building that tree fucking haven down south.
Right.
And then there's Aragorn's Rule, which you could do with him like stomping out the last of the orcs and resistance.
Yeah, do like a Kingmaker series where you're Aragorn, you have to make all these decisions and stuff. That'd be kind of cool.
Right. Or you could do Gimli trying to retake Moria, which would be cool.
Yep.
Gimli, well, I know he becomes the king of the glittering caves.
Yeah.
So there could be that.
There's just a lot of
There's so much you could do.
Yeah, like Gimli. I would love to play a game with like Gimli or just a dwarf king. You know, trying to reestablish the dwarven kingdoms. That'd be sweet.
Yeah,
Forget about that shit. We need the guy that says precious.
It could be like a city manager builder. That'd be cool.
Yeah, like I said, with Aragorn, like during his reign and stuff, you could guide.
Fuck it, give me a game. Give me a game where you play as the walking tree.
Yeah, trees. Yeah, why not?
That'd be cool.
That'd still be cool. Or the spiders. Shoot.
Fuck, you could do anything. You could do like the Second Age, where fucking the elves fight against Morgoth or the Balrogs, or
yeah. Or like I said, you had that whole like prequel where they were trying to discover who was given like, what's going on with Sauron and stuff when they first defeated Sauron with the Blue Wizards in the East.
Yeah, they could pull
completely untapped material there.
They could pull a 300 like in the second one, where it was all naval battles.
Yeah,
just have the Blue Wizards fighting naval battles against Sauron. That'd be fucking sweet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Like a kind of like a pirate game where you have to pirate against the forces of Sauron and stuff, and you do like cool water magic and stuff. Dude. Done.
Yeah. Nope, we're going Golem.
Nope, you're gonna sneak around and steal fish. That's the story that
you steal fish. You're gonna
want, guys.
You're gonna get tortured in Mordor.
It kind of reminds me of I can't remember which one did it, but one of the music games back then, they announced like a Guitar Hero or Rock Band Nickelback version in order to like
get the 45 60 demographic.
No. They did it in order to prevent people from looking into it. It ended up not being Nickelback. It ended up being like something else. I guess it was primarily done to like
Aerosmith
avoid, maybe, but like I don't know. Maybe it sounds like a similar situation, But I mean, if they already have like a trailer and screenshots, it's.
I'll pull this up too because you just remind me of it. There actually is a new Lord of the Rings MMO coming out.
There's also a TV show coming out too for Amazon.
Yep. Amazon Lord of the Rings MMO likely coming in 2022. Which, I don't know how I feel about Amazon taking over all this stuff because they have yet to release a working good game. New Worlds is slotted to come out soon, but it keeps getting pushed back. And apparently a lot of people that play the beta says it's doing good and it's getting better. But maybe they should get this MMO that they have slotted New Worlds on track before they try to take on something like Lord of the Rings and maybe try to establish themselves as a game developer. But, they have the money. So why not, I guess. And they're supposed to, isn't Amazon supposed to be coming out with a new a TV series based on the Lord of the Rings universe as well?
Yeah, it's supposed to be centered around the Second Age, I believe.
That'd be kind of cool. See, that's stuff fans would want to see.
They've confirmed that the current gen version of the Lord of the Ring Golem will put ray tracing front and center as a graphic feature.
Ray tracing. You know what else has ray tracing is a complete dog shit game? Fucking that what is it? That Gods game?
Injustice 2?
No. It's a PS5 game that they released.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I forgot the name of it, but no, wasn't it like a launch title?
It was a launch title for the PlayStation 5, and it's ray tracing. But it was a complete dog shit game. I bought it. It was like, oh, it's released on PC. I want to be included. So I bought it, thinking, haha, I found a loophole. I'm going to play this cool new game on my PC. I was like, oh, this game is complete dog shit. Would it be new PS5 game? Release?
Players will have to make decisions at certain key points through choices and actions displayed in thought bubbles around the main character. The choices will be split between Golem and his own other personality, Smeagol. So you can go, I guess Smeagol's the good and Golem's the bad?
Yeah. Godfall. That's god awful. That's what it is. God awful game. That game sucked so many toes, dude. It was so bad. like I played it, and there's only like it's like Warframe if Warframe sucked really badly. And Warframe is not a perfect game, so if you have a game compared to a sucky version of Warframe, it's gonna suck really, really, really bad. And that's what you get with God Awful. So if you guys get a PS5 at any point, never play that game. It's dumb. It's a waste of your money. I felt robbed. I paid $60 to buy that fucking game. I've never felt so bad about a purchase in my life.
Yeah, it didn't. Luckily for me, it didn't interest me.
And I'm a very frivolous spender. I spend money like I actually have it, and I don't. So.
They're right.
So
I do the same thing now.
Yeah, it's a problem. I'm working on it. New Year's resolutions and all that. But
New Year's resolution. Oh shit! Gotta buy a new guitar.
Oh yeah. I have too many hobbies. That's
how is that ghost guitar treating you lately?
Oh, well enough. I switched over to acoustic for right now because I still need to get a tone out of my pedal board, and
oh yeah,
I'm just haven't been up to the task recently because that's going to just take me like an entire day to just sit with that thing.
Probably longer. Like it took me fucking months with my pedal board.
Yeah.
To really get down the sound that I wanted out of it.
Yeah. I think that's how he felt about Borderlands. Yeah. Borderlands 3. I think Borderlands 3 was a perfectly serviceable game. It's definitely the standard for looter shooters. I would say. Is it a perfect game? No. But what else are you gonna play now? That Outlanders. I heard that has really mixed. Either people like completely hate that game, or it's amazing.
It's coming to Switch.
Yeah, it was garbage. But that's what you get with looter shooters nowadays. I mean, you got Borderlands or you got Destiny. Not very good. Not very many great choices. Revenant though is pretty close to that area, and it's pretty good too. If you've played that at all. This story sucks so much dick. Yeah. Well, you definitely don't play looter shooters for the story, man. I hate to say it. Destiny 2 did suck. Destiny 1 story. You want to talk about a shitty story? Yeah, so you played Remnant, yeah. It is a really good game. I think we talked about it. I think you actually played the expansion. I haven't yet played that. I need to do that eventually. Oh man, we got the black lung, but it's like we've been joining.
Oh my god,
huh?
It's 11:00.
Yeah, we've been joining on for a little bit.
2 hours.
Yeah, but like I said, we just wanted to get everybody that's going to start contributing content to the channel. That's supposed to play. Oh, I bet, dude.
Yeah, I'll make my debut eventually here. I want to get Ethernet cables before I start doing it because I know Wi-Fi is a really shitty way to stream.
They're like $9 at Walmart.
I know.
Yeah.
But all of my purchases are planned ahead of time. So.
Right. Well, like I said, we're gonna call it here for the time, guys. It was a pretty good discussion. I think we talked about a little bit more than we even intended, which is definitely good. We'll start planning and actually have a more structured discussion going forward when we have a little bit more time when we put this together. It was kind of last minute because we realized that over the life of this channel, we haven't actually put together where we have everybody, on chat or stream or in a video actually discussing anything at all, really. So I don't know if Jeremy has any solo content planned, but he does stream with me on occasion with content like Sea of Thieves, Valheim. Now we're doing Deep Rock Galactic.
Deep Rock Galactic!
Pretty fantastic game. He streams with me on those games throughout the week. I don't know if he has any solo content planned. He will post it.
Once it gets out.
Yeah. He'll let me know. We'll get back at you with that. We'll keep you updated on social media with that. I know Lunakage's got some Awesome stuff coming up as far as fighting game content coming.
Yeah, so join us next time where we all play Risk.
Yep. And Anthony, yes, let us know. I'll send you information when we get on Sea of Thieves, and we will get you in rotation, dude. We'll get you on.
I have the Game of Life already on Steam if you guys want to play Life.
Game of Life. Maybe. I don't know.
Like $5.
It's going to be really hard for me to flip the table virtually.
That's not Monopoly.
I suck at Life too, dude.
I got Uno.
Yeah.
Well, join us next time where we do something.
For sure. And then we're going to try to work out a more solid stream schedule, so stay tuned for that, because we're going to have to coordinate something if we all plan on doing content ourselves. So stay tuned for that. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you could, share this with a friend of yours that may be interested in our content, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on all things Dungeons and D-Bags.